Hello, good morning. God bless you all. My very dear class, today I will teach you how we can separate the mixture of solids. In the previous lessons, we discussed a lot about the separation of a solid from a liquid. And the solid can be soluble in that liquid or the solid can be insoluble. But in today's discussion, we will talk about only the mixture of solids, such as the mixture of sand and salt, or such as the mixture of iodine solid crystals from sand, and similar examples will be the part of discussions. So here we begin with the very important point or fact or a logic, you can say, which is applied when we separate the mixture of solids. You know, to separate the mixture of two or more solids, we make use of its properties, its solubilities in solvent. Here I will revise you what is a solute, what is a solvent, and how we define a solution. Suppose if we have sugar as a solid and water as a liquid. Sugar, when we dissolve sugar in water, we make sugar solution, and the sugar which is in smaller amount, the smaller content of the solution is called as a solute, and you see water is in bulk or is in greater amount, the larger content is called as a solvent. So here we will see either we are given the mixture of sand and salt. You see, these are two solids and we will be selecting a suitable solvent for it. Means that solvent in which one of the solid will be dissolved and the other will be not dissolving in that solvent. And we know that if we have salt and sand is insoluble in water, but the salt is soluble in water, so water is the suitable solvent for this separation. You see, if we dissolve this mixture, now focus on this diagram. If we dissolve the mixture of sand and salt in water and then we filter this solution, the filtrate will be the solution of salt, but the sand, as it is insoluble in water, it will be collected as the residue on the filter paper. So here we have separated two solids on the basis of their solubility or dissolution in water. And the next thing, we will be getting one solid salt here on the filter paper and the second solid salt has gone in the water. Then the next step will be followed, in which we will be heating that salt solution. This heat from the burner will evaporate the liquid or that water in the air, leaving behind our solid salt. So this is how we can separate the solids on the basis of their physical property. Now what is the key point that you learnt? We will be very confident in understanding this thing, that to separate a mixture of solids, we use a solvent in which one solid is soluble but the other is insoluble. Okay. When we learnt about the solid selection or the solvent selection, suppose if by chance we are given a mixture of a sublime solid and a non-sublime solid. Sublime solids, we had discussed them in chapter number 1 with detail with the help of examples, that these are the solids which produce their vapors on heating without passing through the liquid phase. So we have iodine solid, and we have ammonium chloride, and mothballs contain naphthalene, which is also a sublime. So here we have, suppose, a mixture of iodine and sand. Then iodine is a sublime and sand is a non-sublime solid. and we can perform this experiment, very interesting experiment, to separate a sublime solid and a non-sublime. So we will be heating this mixture, and we have inverted a funnel over it, and it is sealed with a cotton wool, and the funnel is also coated with some cooling surface, maybe some wet paper or wet cloth piece. So why? Because when the vapors will rise in the funnel, as they will find some cooling surface, they will start to solidify, they will start to condense. So when we heat the mixture of iodine and sand, sand is a non-sublime, it will not be melting and it will not be vaporizing, but the iodine is a sublime solid, it will produce its vapor and it will leave the mixture, and these vapors will be adhering or collecting on the inner wall of the funnel. As there is a cloth or wet cooling surface, they will be solidifying after heating. So this is how we can scratch those crystals after heating. So sublimation is another way to separate the solids which are sublimes. Now we will also learn that how we can separate magnetic materials. There are some metals such as iron, nickel and cobalt which are defined as or called as magnetic materials because they are attracted by magnets, and we can make use of this magnetic property of these metals, iron, nickel and cobalt, to separate them from any mixture, and we'll be using a magnet to attract them. So how? This is what magnets are used in recycling to recover magnetic material from the waste, from the garbage. So again, suppose we have a mixture of salt and sugar with iron fillings or pieces of irons. The magnet will be used to separate magnetic material, iron. So all the iron fillings will be attracted by magnet, leaving behind the salt and sugar. Suppose if we are given a mixture of sulfur and iron fillings. Now focus on this diagram. So we see the iron fillings are magnetic, they will be showing their attraction for magnet, but as sulfur is a solid but it's a non-magnetic material, so when we will be keeping magnet in contact with this mixture, the iron fillings will be attracted to the magnet and leaving behind the sulfur. So after this discussion, I want all of you to try solving Test Yourself 3.3 from page number 41 of your textbook. I will come again to teach you the next topic, which is about separation of liquids from solution, and in that topic I will discuss in detail about simple distillation and the apparatus and fractional distillation and its apparatus and all the technical adjustments and logics. But till then you get command for this topic. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless you.